the circle of the light. And we get our classic animated movie, or one of the classic animated movies of all time, with 1994's The Lion King. Before we begin, thank you so much for watching. This is Flashback Review. If you like what you see, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, and comment below on any of these videos. So, with the remake of Lion King coming out this soon, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the original animated classic of The Lion King. This is a movie that came out in the height of the resurgence of the Disney animated era. You know, you had The Little Mermaid, you had Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and what's ironic about this movie is not the fact that it was a huge hit, which nobody saw coming, but is the fact that this was considered the B tier movie. I'll put up my interview with Tony West to kind of explain what a B tier type movie was. But Pocahontas was considered the A type movie. It was the one that they think was going to be the big hit. It was going to make a lot of money. But what they didn't expect is a movie like Lion King, which is a playoff Hamlet, to like do as well as it did. I mean, it became so big and so profitable so quickly that it became one of like the craziest stories in the history of animation movies or movies in general. I mean, this movie made like $300 million, I believe, when it first came out. And that's a lot of movie for 19 or a lot of money for 1994, and it makes sense now when you think about it. But just let's think about this in the time frame of 1994, and the idea of the movie making this much money is unheard of, especially an anime movie. I mean, even Toy Story, which came out a year later, only made like $180 million. So that just shows you how big Lion King was. And like I said, The Lion King is a story that's based off Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's about a kid named Simba who is framed by his uncle, Scar, and he goes on the run. He meets a couple of cool, free-willing, kind of off-the-wall characters. And he has to eventually claim the throne of what his father had set for him, which was the Pride Lands. And it's just such a beautiful take on the Hamlet story in general. And it has such an amazing depth and fantastical characters. It just, you can't help not to love this movie. And it also has a great score and soundtrack. Hans Zimmer and Elton John were integral to making this movie work like it did. In the beginning of the movie, it has Jonathan Taylor Thomas as a young Simba. He's being like groomed by his father, who's played by the brilliant James Earl Jones, and he is learning about the Pride Lands, about the Circle of Life, how that all works. He doesn't understand why he has to eat animals, and Mufasa's like, it's just something you have to cope with. It's the way the world works, it's the way life works. It's a very interesting and well thought out lesson for us. I was 11 years old, so I was just at that perfect time frame of learning how the culture and the world works. And in the process, he has this jealous uncle who's played by one of my favorite villainous characters of all time, Scar, and he's played by Jeremy Irons, who is beautifully done in this movie. You really feel the contempt, the anger, the just veracity of who Scar is. He's a guy that wants the throne, and he will do whatever it takes to get that throne by manipulating his family and eventually killing Mufasa, which is one of the most scar-inducing moments. One of the most scar-inducing moments you've ever seen. It scarred kids for life because of how insane it was. This is a kids movie, and you're killing off the father within the first like 15 minutes or something like that. And then you have like the jackals, or hyena, sorry, had Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin. They're just like they're vicious characters, and it's insane to watch. But when Simba leaves the Pride Lands and Scar takes over, Scar like decimates the Pride Lands. Like, it becomes a wasteland, and it's crazy to watch. But Simba, he finds himself in this jungle area. He meets a couple characters one's played, of course, by Nathan Lane, but it's Timon and Pumbaa. And Timon and Pumbaa basically teach him the ways of life, the ways to be free, the ways to not care. And they do it brilliantly in the Hakuna Matata song. But it's just, I love these moments because it takes the danger and the crazy elements of what's going on in the Pride Lands and gives you kind of a breather, a sigh of relief while injecting the Pride Land stuff. And when, Nala, who is now grown up, of course, she kind of runs into Simba, and she's like, you need to be the king you need to be, and you need to take the Pride Lands back. And the kind of like yin and yang of trying to decide what he wants to do is such an interesting take, because life is like that. You have to decide the things you should be and the things you could be, and it's a very human tale of the people just kind of accepting who they need to be, and it's done brilliantly. Matthew Broderick is amazing in this movie as the adult Simba, and when he goes and eventually fights Scar, and they take over the Pride Lands with Timon and Pumbaa, who have like one of the funniest scenes when they're like being used as bait. It's brilliant stuff. But this movie is just a brilliant, great time. It's fun. It doesn't take itself seriously a lot of times, but it's also very serious in a lot of moments. You know, the stampede stuff's really good. The animation in general is really, really good in this movie. And like I said before, I will put my interview with Tony West up because he explains how hard this movie is to make, because he was on the team to do this kind of stuff. And that's what's so amazing, to listen to that kind of stuff, but just to watch the animation. The animation's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The oranges and blues and yellows, and just when the sun rises in the very beginning of the movie is just beautiful and amazing to watch. And you know, it's just like it's like paintings. It's really insane to look at. But you know, characters like Rafiki, who is the baboon or monkey or whatever you want to call him, he's perfect as that wise old character, and it's just stuff like that. And you know, every character in here is perfect. And I'm going into the live action version of this movie with a little bit of trepidation, but a little bit of hope that Jon Favreau, I've seen the reviews, they're not great, but I want to see if he at least holds the values of what The Lion King was and what it did. And another part we got to talk about, and I talked about a little bit earlier, is the score and the songs in this movie. They are mind-blowingly good. There's a reason that it holds such a classic and holds such a place in the heart of people, because of how amazing the songs are. You know, The Circle of Life, which starts out this movie, is fantastic and just mind-blowing, just beautiful to watch. And then I Just Can't Wait to Be King is awesome. And then one of my favorite songs, Be Prepared, which apparently is not in the new movie, which kind of bothers me a little bit, is a fantastic look at revenge and how he's plotting out his takeover of the Pride Lands with Scar. And then you have like Can't You Feel the Love Tonight, and you have Hakuna Matata, which is considered one of the great classics of animation filmmaking in general, or just movie or music scores. It's just those songs are what makes this movie have heart and what makes it have a beautiful tempo to what's going on in the story itself. And then of course, those are all songs that are written by Tim Rice and Elton John, but then you have Hans Zimmer's mesmerizing theme songs and scores to all the characters. And this is what Hans Zimmer does really well. He gives an emotional arc and emotional depth to characters and to people that just it's second to none. Only people like John Williams and Thomas Newman and there's other people I'm forgetting, but they know how to kind of make you kind of feel like you're inside the head of the characters. And the score is just so beautifully done. And it's a reason Hans Zimmer is still working in such crazy depths today, because it's amazing to watch. But yeah, The Lion King is just such a special movie. It's a very, very deeply moving movie. And there's a reason that this movie, I mean, like I said, when this movie blew up as well as it did, Disney just was not prepared to how big it was going to be. I'm sure they knew it was going to make a lot of money because they knew they were in this resurgence of Disney animation. But there's no way they thought this movie would make as much as it did. There's no way they knew this movie would be as popular as it did, or maybe they did. I don't know, but it's insane to watch, and it's crazy to see just how culturally relevant this movie became, and how culturally relevant it still is today. And the fact that this movie leads into generations and generations of kids and adults, when they get kids, they can show them this film and it's still relevant. It still has good tales and good teachings of what kids see. So, but that'll do it. That's my take on The Lion King, the 1994 version. Like I said, I know I kind of inserted it into this review, but I will put out there my review or my interview with Tony West. Check it out, guys. It's wonderful. If you like people who talk about especially my age of animation, this guy worked on these films, and it's really cool to watch and really cool to listen to. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, and comment below on any of these videos. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.
Wow! If you're hungry for a hunk of fat and juicy meat, eat my buddy Poopa here because he has a treat. Coming down a dine on a Stacy swine, all you have to do is get in line. Ah, you aching?
Yup.
For some bacon?
Yup.
He's a big pig.
Yup.
You can be a big pig too.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.